Progression in Enshrouded is straightforward initially, and following the quest will generally push your world forward. But as you continue playing, it can quickly start to feel overwhelming. You'll inevitably wind up with a large number of quests, and some of them won't necessarily move you forward in terms of progressing into new biomes. Add that to the fact that if you get sidetracked building the perfect base early on, which is easy to do because building an Enshrouded is incredibly fun, your hours can quickly snowball without ever progressing your world or experiencing the later biomes where much of the game's content opens up, especially content from the latest updates. I wanted to make this video to share my approach to ensuring that I'm continuing to progress my world and unlock the newer biomes fast, even as my quest list begins to grow. Everything begins at the flame altar. The moment you lay down your first flame altar, you should interact with it and choose Strengthen Flame. You can pin this list if you like. Think of this requirements list as your checklist to progress to the next portion of the game. If you can comfortably obtain every item on this list, then chances are you're ready to move forward. I like to keep a non-magic chest near the flame altar. This is where I drop items that I intend to later use to strengthen my flame. This prevents me from using those items in crafting since they aren't in magic chests. As you work your way down the list, you'll tend to run into two situations. You'll either not know exactly how to obtain an item, or you'll know where to find an item, but you're having a hard time obtaining it because your character is underpowered for the enemy or boss that drops it. For the first situation, know that the information provided on the item or material tooltip here will provide you some direction on where to look. A good rule of thumb is that if there is something you have not seen before while you're out exploring, you should either pick it up or gather it. Picking up new items often unlocks recipes or crafts, and some of those may be needed for a future flame upgrade. Also, keep in mind that some items the flame asks for may need to be crafted, and if you don't have access to a production station that crafts something you need, check your quest log or speak with NPCs since they are usually the source of new crafting stations or tools. For the second situation where you've made it to a combat encounter that you find to be challenging, that certainly happened to me because I tend to push the flame altar requirements to the point that I absolutely cannot proceed without upgrading either my weapon, armor, or consumables, and maybe all three. Note that this is most likely to happen as you go to chase down a trophy requirement listed by the flame. Trophy requirements correspond to a stronger enemy or boss relative to where you are at in the game, and usually they have a quest tied to them with the trophy listed as the quest reward. You may want to save these quests for when you have gathered most of the other materials for the current flame upgrade so that you have access to your best foods, drinks, potions, and any armor upgrades you feel are necessary to make the next fight as smooth as possible. Lastly, I want to point out something about the two types of quests that you'll see in your journal. Flameborn quests are specific to your character. These quests are good to do, but I recommend prioritizing them when they overlap with Embervale quests. Embervale quests move your world forward and are the quests that ensure progression. For example, any quest with a trophy reward or a new tool or resource for a major crafting NPC will generally be an Embervale quest. And that's all there is to it. I found that focusing on the requirements to strengthen the flame altar has helped me stay on track and ensure that I'm progressing toward the later biomes effectively. I had spent a number of hours sidetracked on building or doing quests that weren't really moving my world forward. Hopefully, this helps some of you avoid that. Thanks for watching. Good luck. Take care.